Welcome to Make It Make Sense with Monique Pressley. I'm your host, Monique Pressley. Thanks so much for joining. Sorry we kept you guys waiting. It was like a thing and a thing and a thing and a thing today. And then the news keeps newsing today. And this is the day where I try to bring you the breaking news. I try to bring you the headlines, get you all caught up on what's going on out there in the world, in the mayhem, where I'm not just picking one thing or two things. I'm trying to just give you a few things to let you know, hey, if you haven't watched the news in the past 3 days, if you enjoyed your Easter holiday weekend, here's what was going on. But as usual, we're still doing it exactly like the title says, make it make sense. So, clarity, concepts. If you're confused and I'm confused, we bring in an expert. But either way, we get to the point where we've got some answers for you that are supported by facts, supported by data. Yes, we give you opinion, but even when we give you opinion, it's rooted in facts and data. There is so much going on. And you know what? All of it is pretty much in this country about what has turned into yet again another Trump train wreck. Trump train wreck 2.0 is what we're at right now. And everything that he touches, it turns to crap. It's not turning to gold. And I mean, if he touches other people's lives, if he tries to touch our rule of law, if he tries to touch our employment system, if he tries to touch the stock market, if he tries to touch anything, we find, even the people who work for him, their lives crumble due to association. And then he turns into this self-preservationist, as usual. I mean, just the typical narcissistic behavior that you would expect from somebody who's never had to be accountable to anyone for anything ever. So, that spiel being done, I want to talk about it. Have you been paying attention to the news? And I'm looking forward to your comments. Let people know that we're on. Hey y'all, hey. I see you. Good morning. Hi. Afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Make It Make Sense. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Tell your frenemies, tell your enemies. They probably need to hear this the most, right? The people who we have no idea why they think the things that they think. But there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot, and some of it is newsworthy, some of it isn't. I happen to think that in my playlist of things that are worthy to talk about, lo and behold, Pete Hexith, y'all, Fox News superstar Pete Hexith, once again, he's in the news. He looks like such a nincompoop, doesn't he? I mean, he is just the most absurd character. And that's what I mean, character, because he's like in this Trump circus. He's one of the ringleaders, but I don't think he's like a major ringleader. He's like that shiny monkey kind of object that you put in to distract everybody while you're trying to do something else serious, criminal over someplace else. He'll open his jacket wide and say, look at me, let me entertain you. Except he was given this really big job that he was completely unqualified for. That's enough. We don't have to look at him any longer, Mr. Producer. Given this really big job that he was unqualified for, and now we learn that he not only was using the Signal chat as his personal group chat with all of these other people that have top secret clearance who know how to go into a skiff and should have been in a skiff receiving the information. We learned that a few weeks ago. Now we learn he had a friends and family Signal chat, y'all. Like he was sharing information from top secret generals and so on with family members, with his wife. With he was sharing information with his folks that he could talk to in a whisper in a closet at home. He's sending them updates about our top secret information about planned attacks of foreign countries, he was sending that on Signal like it was telephone, a game of telephone, like it was the group chat. Why? To people who don't have any clearance. Spouses don't get super secret squirrel clearance. They don't get top secret clearance. And here it is. Even after we find this out, thank you, New York Times, thank you, Reuters, thank you, everybody who broke the story. Even if we find out that there was another full breach of top secret information, which for anybody else would be treason, for anybody else would be violating, espionage acts, for anybody else would be certainly immediate firing. For someone who is leading our nation's military, it would be an automatic court martial. He should be in lockup, having conversations, doing his press conferences from lockup right now for anybody else. But in Trump's America, in this train wreck that we're on, oh no. As long as you're good with dear leader, you don't say nothing bad about dear leader. He says he has utmost confidence. He has utmost confidence in Sneaky Pete, who is not sneaky at all, who is a complete freaking joke. Okay, why does this matter? Why is this headline news for me? Because people, your vote matters. And when you vote for someone like Trump and give them the opportunity to pick the people who have full authority over huge portions of our governance and our safety and our security, then you get farces like Hexith, who really, based on even in his confirmation hearings, it was so obvious how he completely lacked qualifications. He served in the military, yes, and then became a TV personality, never headed any portion, was never in leadership in military or in government. And because for this president, these positions are not serious because he is unserious. These positions are unserious. Oh, put him in there. He'll do a great job. Because no care at all about you, about your family, your city, your state, this country, our state in the world. We used to be like one of the big, huge superpowers, most important, powerful. No, people are laughing at us around the world. They are laughing at you, President Trump, Manchurian President Trump, Putin's puppet Trump. They are laughing at you, sir, because you are not a leader at all. You are a joke. You are a scary, scary joke that other countries are deciding if the United States won't lead, we will assume leadership. China is so excited about the way that you are performing, sir. So excited. And if you guys hear me with the lisp, it's because I'm trying to be a real disciplinarian about wearing my Invisalign. So, no, I have not just taken on a speech impediment overnight. I am just trying to do right. So, your vote matters. Your vote matters. Like you can't. It's not a joke. It's not a game, and it doesn't just matter for pocketbook issues, wallet issues. It doesn't just matter for that. It matters for all kinds of things, like who's going to be Secretary of Defense and will they know what they're doing? Who's going to be in charge of things like immigration policy, something that maybe you care about. Did you see where the Supreme Court yesterday that they had to work, they had to do emergency work over the weekend because thank God for the ACLU. The ACLU's lawyers ran into court to stop illegal deportations. They heard that people were going to be in violation of court orders, deported, and that they were quite literally on the buses. And so the ACL lawyers had to run into 3 different courts to try to get relief. And when they couldn't get relief, they had to do an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court. And then, thank God, the Supreme Court, can we see that order? Did what they had to do, even when they have allegiance to dear leader. They did what they had to do. Here's what it says: order in pending case, because the case is already before the Supreme Court. AARP versus Trump. There is before the court an application on behalf of a putative class of detainees seeking an injunction against their removal under the Alien Enemies Act. The matter is currently pending before the Fifth Circuit. Upon action by the Fifth Circuit, the Solicitor General is invited to file a response to the application before this court as soon as possible. The government is directed not to remove any member of the putative class of detainees from the United States until further order of this court. Justice Thomas and Justice Alito dissent from the court's order, and they do a separate statement written by Justice Alito, whose mouth is firmly planted to Trump's behind. But let me read again. The government is directed not to remove any member of the putative class of detainees from the United States until further order from this court. Y'all see that? So the Trump administration has been using the Alien Enemies Act to claim like that we are in war with people, and because we're in war with those countries, they have the right to not provide due process under the law the way every person who is living in the United States, whether you are a citizen or not, if you are a resident, if you are living in the United States, you are supposed to be provided due process. So under the Alien Enemies Act, they were doing it anyway, sending people back to places they shouldn't go, that the court has already said they shouldn't go, for cases that are active, for plaintiffs that are already before the court. They're like, but we're at war with them. They're a danger. They're in gangs. They're foreign enemies living in the country. They need to go back immediately. So now the Supreme Court, that's already ruled with pending case in the Fifth Circuit, has said, don't do that no more. Stop it. Stop it, little baby government. Stop it, little wannabe dictator, and all your followers who work for you. Don't do that anymore. You can't do that. No. Bad baby. No more Alien Enemies Act for you. Cut it out. That's what the Supreme Court had to come in over the weekend to do, because they were under the cover of darkness kicking people out. And when they're supposed to have a notice requirement, giving people notice when it's going to happen, they're like, for you to pick up your whole life, they're giving 12 hours notice. Why should you care about that? Because if you don't get due process when you live here as an immigrant, as a construction worker, as a nail tech, as a makeup artist, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't bothering nobody. I see y'all. Yes. Lord, make it stop. Agree. Somebody said, why are Black people concerned about immigrants? We have our own battles. This is your battle, Troy. You hear me? That's what I'm trying to answer for you. Why should you care about this? Now, let me digress and say, Black people are humans. Many of us, the majority of us, are of faith. So we do care about the plight of other humans. When we have fought for civil rights, we, fortunately or unfortunately, were like the last to get them. And I understand the resentment about that. But other people benefit when we stand up for people. So we are often Black and gay. That's our fight. We are Black and woman. So autonomy over our bodies, that's our fight. We are Black and fighting for the right to vote. So when other communities' votes are being suppressed or oppressed, that's our fight. But for sure, when you talk about the plight of the immigrant and they say that, because that's what Trump just said last night. He said, and they argued in court that they should have the right to kick people out of this country without a trial, without due process, meaning without the opportunity for you to stand before a tribunal and the charges against you to be heard. Do you understand, Troy? And any other Black person who thinks this isn't our fight and this isn't our worry? Do you understand that that means that they can stop you on the street, claim you look brown, not Black, send you to a deportation center, accuse you of being a member of a gang, accuse you of being some bad, unsavory criminal, and then send you to El Salvador, to the prisons that the El Salvadoran president is saying they would be happy to take us in? Did you hear your president say to the El Salvadoran president in the Oval Office, oh, yes, the homegrowns are next? Do you think he's talking about somebody other than you, Mr. Black person at large, Miss Black person at large? No, that's us. That's our citizenship that he's attacking. So for sure, we're up. We're not next. We're up. They're just trying to figure it out. It's all in Project 25. You can look at it. They want you dumb. They want you ignorant. They want you not caring about the plight of your neighbor. So even if it wasn't you, is that really who we are as Black people? I don't think so. I don't think we only care about us. I think we care about our issues and we recognize that our issues are represented in all of the issues, that if it's a health issue, if it's an environmental issue, if it's a migration or immigration issue, it's our issue because we want to live in a country where people who are in minority have the same rights as the people in majority. Because right now we live in a country where the folks in power do not believe that that is true because some people are considered less than human. I hope that answers your question. Let's move on. So the Supreme Court has spoken. We're trying to stop mass deportations. One of the specific cases where that matters is the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. So where I was trying to describe for you what it's like to be a resident of this country and to already have supposed protections, because in his case, he had an order from 2019 saying that he was not to be returned to El Salvador for his own safety. So that was the court saying, don't touch, concerning Kilmar Abrego Garcia. But even though that was the case, and even though the Supreme Court had already said don't touch, he was sent to El Salvador under the cover of darkness. And the Supreme Court has said, okay, White House, you've admitted that that was mistaken and that there was no due process, there was no hearing, there was nothing that happened, and you don't have proof that this man belongs to some sort of a gang, so fix the mistake, undo it. And they're refusing to do so. They're acting like, oh yeah, well, we heard he was in a gang and that's enough. We don't have to have the proof. They're saying it's up to El Salvador. El Salvador is saying it's up to the United States. El Salvador says that the United States is actually paying to keep him in custody. And this man was a resident of Maryland, legally, illegally, gang member or not. Do you get my drift? Like when you're a criminal in the United States, the laws are for you. Cruel and unusual punishment laws are for those who break laws. Due process laws are for those who are accused. The right to an attorney, the right to hear charges against you, the right to appear in court before a tribunal and before a jury of your peers. That's all for if you do something wrong or you are accused of doing something wrong. That's not for the people who never do nothing wrong to nobody, no time. That's not for just the wealthy and the powerful. It's not. It's for you. It's for me. It's for you to have the opportunity to call me if you are stuck by the side of the road, because the law enforcement is targeting Black folks, brown folks, says you have a tail light out when you don't, says your car looks suspiciously like a car for somebody else who they're looking for. Then they mis-ID you, they arrest you. You got a warrant for something else. They hold you. They keep you. They charge you. They get somebody else to lie and drop a dime on you so that they can get their sentence decreased. And now you're in maximum lockup, being held, while people on the outside have no idea what the charges are even against you. What the Trump administration wants to do is then send you out of the country on trumped up charges, quite literally. That's what they're doing. So Kilmar is you, Troy. Kilmar could be one of my boys. Kilmar is all the Leroys and Cavantes of the world. It's us. It's our community that is in danger. So even if we want to be the types of Black people who don't care about our neighbors, we got to at least be the type of Black people who care about ourselves, because this is about us. So now Senator Van Hollen has gone down there, seen Kilmar Abrego Garcia to at least know that he's alive, met with him, which means if it's so easy to go and meet with him, and the El Salvadoran government can bring him out of their maximum security hellhole, put his street clothes on him, sit him down for the meal, stage some photos, then it would be just as easy for the United States to say send him back and send a plane to get him, but they've refused to do so. So now 4 more members of Congress have gone in support of Senator Van Hollen and in support of the rights of Kilmar Abrego. 4 more have gone, including Congressman Maxwell Frost. I think we have a video.
Got here late last night, here with 3 other members of Congress and some staff, and we're here to build off of the work of Senator Van Hollen, demanding the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, someone who was sent here without due process, without his day in court. And the fact of the matter is, this is happening to a lot of other people as well, and we should all be concerned. I'm here on behalf of the people I represent in Orlando, Florida, a community that's very diverse, filled with immigrants, because here's the deal. The Constitution applies to all of us, and we all are entitled to due process, not to be kidnapped by ICE agents in the middle of the night and sent to another country and sent to a prison. And so we have to draw the line here. We have to make a big deal about this. Members of Congress have to come here and use the privilege we have to advocate at the highest levels to make sure that Kilmar is brought home, but not just him, but that everybody can have their day in court and can have due process. The president in the Oval Office said next up is he wants to send U.S. citizens here. This is completely against the Constitution, and we have to draw the line here. So we'll keep people updated with the work that we do here. But here's the good news. We won't be the last. We won't be the last members of Congress here. We got to keep the pressure up.
So I'm thankful for these members of Congress for stepping up, for holding the line, and for trying to do what is necessary to ensure not the safety of this one alleged gang member, but the safety of everybody who lives in this country who is supposed to be protected by due process. I'm doing my best. You guys, we have transitioned over to YouTube, so I'm looking at the chat as best as possible. Troy, I see you. I don't even know. Can we put this back up on the screen? Because I do think it deserves conversation, because I do think this is kind of where we get lost. And so I'm going to give it some time today. I see where you're saying, Troy, homosexuals only make up 3% of the population, and they are taking our place. Our children can no longer go to college. Troy, that's not true. Just on the math of it, the math wouldn't math, right? Can 3% of the population take the place of 13.5% of the population? No. Um, are our children no longer going to college? No. And are our children also part of the LGBTQIA community? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Are you just talking about the white or brown or non-black people, homosexuals, people of the members or members of the gay, lesbian, queer community? But our numbers of people going to college are going up. The largest percentage of people who are graduating from college are Black women. Largest percentage with entrepreneurship businesses, us. Largest number of graduates for professional degrees per capita is those similarly situated to me, to your daughters. Um, so, no, sir. The threat to education is a Trump administration that is gutting the Department of Education and taking money away from special needs environments and from co-curricular activities. That's the threat. It's not gay and lesbian community. It's not brown folks. I saw the other things you were saying about Latinos not hiring Black folks. Frankly, the data shows that the people who migrate here are doing jobs that others don't want to do, including people in our community, jobs that we believe are beneath us, that we are more qualified than to do. But we're about to figure out what the farmers are going to do without the migrants to do those jobs. We're about to figure out what's going to happen to tech companies and to factory operated companies that still depend on the labor of humans before AI takes those jobs. But no, sir, no. We do facts here, we do data, and I'm here to tell you that ain't it. Last one for the day, because it it occurs to me, um, speaking of education, that there may be some who do not understand the real attack that not just the Department of Education and our Head Start, elementary, middle, and high schools are under, but the colleges are under, because this administration sent out an executive order declaring that diversity, equity, and inclusion was illegal. It is not. The Supreme Court did not rule that. It is not true. It is not illegal. It is not unlawful. We are watching certain corporations hold the line. Thank you, Marriott. We're watching certain corporations hold the line and say, no, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing because we recognize that a diverse company, diversity in our employee ranks makes for better outcomes. And diverse does mean women, diverse means race, diverse means special education, special needs. All of those things are diversity, right? Equity, inclusiveness, and it makes for better outcomes. Of course, you have to be qualified for the particular job. It doesn't mean decreasing standards. It means ensuring that white people, white men with money who are in the top hiring positions can't just keep duplicating and replicating themselves. That they have to seek out a broader net of people to apply for and get the jobs. That's what that means. And it is not illegal, and it is not unlawful, and it is not against the Constitution or against orders of the court. The Trump administration just says that in executive orders, and then people capitulate, people comply in advance erroneously at our country's own detriment. And so when the president pushed back at Harvard, Harvard said, yeah, no, we won't be doing it. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. And if you try to threaten us and tell us what can go in our curriculum and who we can hire and who our professorial staff should be, our faculty, and what we can teach, and we have to report to you about our students, then we lose the independence that we're supposed to have as the top preeminent research institution and university in the country. Harvard actually existed longer than this country has been in existence. So they said no. And then when the Trump administration fired back and said, well, we're going to take however many $1 billion of funding from you, 2 billion in grants from federal dollars from you, Harvard said, oh, will you? Okay, well, we will sue. So it was announced yesterday, Harvard is suing Trump administration to stop freeze of more than 2 billion in grants. So Harvard is saying they are prepared to live without this money, but they are saying you won't get away with this without a fight. And the Trump administration had already said, well, the first thing we released, the executive order, says as long as it's not against the law. So if it's against the law, oops, wink, wink, it doesn't count. And Harvard said, oh no, but we took you seriously. And we're still taking you seriously. So every time you threaten us, we're going to do another serious thing. We've also seen the Big Ten get together about something completely unsports related and in similar fashion say, if you attack one of us, they formed their own NATO. They said if the Trump administration attacks one of us, you attack all of us. Can you imagine the uproar if all these students stop going to those schools and start going to HBCUs? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine what the money the alums of these universities would do, who are heading all of these big corporations that probably were providing funding, were sponsoring Trump's campaign? Mm-hmm. So chickens and a roost are meeting each other. If that wasn't enough, it's no surprise, right, that because of Trump's stand on immigration and the treatment of migrants, because of Trump's stand in attacking education, because of Trump's stand in putting people in charge who have no idea what they're doing and are showing that our national security and our international security is at risk, because of that, in tariffs, which we've already talked about, I mean, the trade war, the tariff war that nobody asked for, that nobody wanted, is the one that we're in, and just levels going up and up with China. We are watching the crash of our economy. We are seeing the stock market go down, 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 down. We're seeing, unfortunately, the bond market go down, 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 down. Do you guys see this? Do you see the stock market index? Do you see the difference between what under the Biden-Harris administration we were looking at and the way it's gone for this month? Do you understand what that's doing to people's retirement accounts? People's investments? The fear, the anxiety, the freak out that's going on in the United States and around the world. And even when the stock market is freaking out, you think, okay, people who are dipping, dodging, running from stocks, bonds will go up. No, as Reese explained to us a few days ago, go back and look at that show. She's the econ person, not me. I was an econ minor, so I still kind of remember my way around and know I have to figure it out for myself now. But go look at how she explained it thoroughly. No, bond market's going down, which is what really put the scarify. And then every other day, Trump keeps attacking folks whose jobs are supposed to be secure, even when you're not through different administrations. And so we're watching attacks on the Fed chief, Fed chair, and we're watching people get real skittish because what they look for in the markets is security. What they look for in the markets is steadiness. And he is chaos. He is an agent of chaos. And for what? So I'm just wondering, all of you who voted your purse, voted your wallet, voted your kitchen table budget, all of you corporate folks who voted for these tax cuts and things that were going to be good for your businesses, and you're watching everything go down the tubes. How's it working out? Is it worth it? Because right now will be a good time to reverse course. Join the millions of people in the country who are protesting. Join the people who are pulling their money from the GOP, from the impotent GOP-led Congress, Senate, and from this criminal administration, and supporting other candidates, supporting organizations who are mobilizing. We need you. We need everybody to take a stand some way, somehow. Okay. That's all I got for today. I got more, but I'll save it. Tomorrow, I'm excited to announce my girl, my sis, our queen, Tamika D. Mallory, will be here with us. She will be talking about her new book, I Live to Tell the Story. She will be talking about the State of the People Tour. She's a co-chair of the State of the People Tour, which will be at its first stop, Atlanta, Georgia, this weekend, this Saturday and Sunday. One day will be spent serving the community. The next day will be the rally. Go to stateofthepeopletour.com, stateofthepeople.com, or go to State of the People on Instagram, and you can find the sign up there. If you're in Atlanta or want to get to Atlanta, sign up, sign up, sign up. We got some great stuff coming for you. There are several celebrity guests. Everything you can think of is going to be happening. Cares for the community, fundraising for the community, devoting ourselves into community, and then also rallying and mobilization for our people. It's powered by Black folks, with Black folks, for Black folks. So you want to be there. State of the People. Anyway, she'll be here to talk about that, to talk about Target boycott, what status is of that, recent meetings, ongoing boycott, all of those things, and her book, Tamika D. Mallory, tomorrow. Please subscribe, Monique Pressley channel. Please click like when you're watching the video. Like. We need the algorithm to say, yes, bring us more, make it make sense. Thank you for supporting independent media. If you'd like to support our channel, you can go to Cash App, $ Monique Pressley TV. Support us that way. You can support us by sharing what you learn. Utilize your platform in order to share with others. I will see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, for more Make It Make Sense. Until then, stay safe out there.